One important point to realize is that life is very fragile and um, unpredictable at times, and the world does not owe you anything in terms of how long you live. It's not like you're born and um, someone says you are destined to live a full life until you age and die of old age at 80 years old. Not everyone is blessed like that. Sometimes the people who are born handsome and rich and have a good life and so forth just happen to be the ones who also live until 80. That's great for them. They hit the lottery. No need to be envious or jealous. Be happy for them because, sure, some of them may be arrogant pricks, but I'm sure there are others out there who really savored every year of that life and really enjoyed it to the fullest. And so that's really the message regarding this video. Um, it may be kind of hard off or distant to some of you guys, but um, there are plenty of people who die at all walks of ages, from 3 to 4 to 5 to 8 to 10 to 15 to 20 to everything in between. Now, wherever you're living, I'm sure most of my viewers are in the US. It may not be that common for you guys. It's probably like a rare occurrence. But still, I mean, I live in the US, and even for me, I mean, I would say as I grew up through school, um, it would be like one event every few years where someone of our age would die or something like that, or you'd hear something like that. Regardless, though, like some of that stuff can just strike you at any moment. Personally, I've just, through walking about college and doing stuff, I have met two people who have gone through cancer and cancer treatment. Some slightly older than me, some slightly younger than me, and these were just people who were just random dudes, and out of the blue they got cancer. That's literally what they said, just completely out of the blue. And there's all these other sort of things, like you could walk out the next day and be hit by a car or something like this. You aren't destined to live that long. It's really unpredictable at times and out of your control. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. If you look at the news, I mean, there's recently a plane, it was all over the news, had like 200 plus passengers, and it disappeared. Most likely they're dead. I mean, that could be you. You would just be on a plane and it can happen. And I mean, this isn't said to scare you and make you hide in your house, because even then it can occur. Sure, it might decrease your chances, but there have been deaths in houses before. There's been people who have died from playing video games for too long. The blood circulation cut off. So this is a video as a reminder to everyone who wants to watch this video, as well as myself, to stop complaining about the little stuff, because it is really scary, and it's really just down to probability and luck of the draw. I mean, someone has to be, hit by the gun every now and then. It's something you really have to take into account and just use to enjoy your life. And it can be very tough. I mean, who knows? And I mean, just embrace life and try and live it to the fullest, I guess. It's hard to do. Some people get enough life where they watch their kids grow up and so forth, And there's this one guy um, I know who was like that. I didn't know him very well, but he had a fairly full life. He had children, they grew up to adults, and he always looked fairly young, but all of a sudden he died. And um, I mean, a lot of people, they wish or they assume that they live to 80 or 90 or 100, and it's kind of not realistic. Like it's probably not going to happen. um I mean, sure, it may happen to you, but I mean, a lot of people die before them, like 50s, 40s, 60s, and it's unexpected. They don't think it'll happen, and it happens, and then they're gone. And then there are those who live that long, and they're just really bored, and they don't really know what to do. So I really think that they should really embrace and enjoy life. It's kind of counterproductive in certain ways, because the more you enjoy it, the less you want to leave it. So there's that problem as well. And then on the flip side, there's that whole thing where my dad would always complain about his old age throughout growing up, and more so as he aged. He was constantly complaining about his hair going bald and so forth, and um, it pestered me to no end. It was just a very grim mood, and all that complaining, and I mean, he's still around, and he's got many more health problems. That's not good, because who, God knows where I'm going to be. Um, but I kind of sort of took a semi-vow throughout my childhood, after listening to all that, to not ever do that myself. Because, like, what's the use? You're going to pester your child to death. He's going to have a grim outlook on things. He's just going to be, put down each time you bring up how bad your back's doing, or how you're losing all your hair, and how you're about to die soon. And he's still kicking, he's still around. But I never really liked the complaining about it. And it may be true. Like, a lot of people just kick the bucket early. Um, Not everyone's as lucky to live to 70 or 80. Some don't want to, because then, like, you have all sorts of health problems as well. So it's really quite the thing. Um, for me personally, I try and embrace every day as much as I can. Well, but the thing is, like, there's not really always that many things to do to really express that. So I look to different outlays. Um, there's obviously the stereotypical thing, parties and so forth, but those opportunities don't arise. Nor do I think it's always a curse that they don't. I mean, one way to outlay your expression would be drugs, and I'm glad that opportunity never struck. Um, who knows if I could have really been resistant enough to peer pressure. Probably I would have, but who knows. Anyhow, long story short, it's a rough thing. Um, Warren Buffett, if you guys don't know him, he's very lucky in a lot of ways. His passion and interest that he loved doing just so happened to make a lot of money in this world. But more so than that, he was lucky in the fact that he never needed a lot of money. And even when he got rich, millionaire, billionaire status, he never spent much money. He has like a very cheap house, very cheap car, eats very cheap food. And so, I mean, sure, maybe you may not luck out, or be unable to find something that can make you decent money to be your job, but that's one thing you can do. You can choose to have a lifestyle that you're fully happy with without the need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to maintain that lifestyle. Although to other people that may be impossible. But Warren also lucked out in the fact that um, he's lived very, very long doing what he loves. Not a lot of people got that either. And I'm not saying this to complain or be jealous, but it's something that to consider. Um, I think certain things you can definitely gear towards. Some of it may be genetically disposed, but we are humans. We're self-conscious. We should be able to learn and just adjust intellectually. So I feel like um, you really got to enjoy your life. And I remember saying that to my dad once upon a time. Um, it was when I was very young, elementary school or middle school. I was doing something like playing somewhere, and my dad came in again, very like, oh, you should be doing homework and so forth. He never says that, but he walks in, talks indirectly about something else, and just expresses that through his body language, and then he eventually says it, but comes in like that, and I'm just annoyed. So I'm like, we somehow got onto the topic of the meaning of life, and I shouted at him, the meaning of life is to enjoy life. And he was like, he gave me like the childish look, like, to enjoy life, and he laughed. And I can't remember what else happened, but that memory stuck. And it's funny because in certain ways it is true. Now, enjoying life doesn't have to be some debaucherous thing, doesn't always have to be something that's terrible or sinful or anything like that. And I've learned that, and I do think it is one aspect of life that's quite entertaining, and it may not be the only purpose, but I think it is one of the bigger aspects. So, yeah. Long story short, try and model yourself after Warren a bit. Find what you're interested in. Find constructive stuff that you can do with that interest that can better your life. Whether it's making videos and try and construct that into some sort of career so that you can sustain yourself. And I don't know, it doesn't always work out. Some people like video games or something that they just can't translate into an income. But it's a funny way how the world works. Anyhow, I don't know. See you guys later.